Ontario Premier Doug Ford and the Prime Minister have officially announced a deal. It will see parents of children aged 5 and under in childcare start getting rebates in May. Ontario is the last jurisdiction to sign on to Ottawa's plan to bring childcare fees down to an average of $10 a day by the end of 2025. The $10.2 billion deal includes rebates retroactive to April 1st as part of a fee reduction of up to 25%. Parents will see a further cost reduction in December. Well, joining us now to tell us more about the federal childcare program and what this deal means for Ontario is the CEO of the Canadian Childcare Federation, Don Giesbrecht. Sir, welcome to Forum Daily.
Thank you very much.
So let's start with this deal, sir. What does this deal between the Premier and the federal government mean for parents in Ontario?
Well, it means that they're going to start saving money as of April 1st, which is probably one of the biggest takeaways for Ontario families, no doubt. Ontario has the highest childcare fees in all of Canada. And as of April 1st, they're going to see a 25% reduction, as you mentioned, retroactive once the funding starts and starts moving, and then another 25% reduction by the end of December. All in for this year, that is over $1.1 billion that is going to go back to parents.
All right. Well, staying on the topic of these rebates, who qualifies and how much can families expect to get back in May when this program starts to roll out?
Right. So you have to have your children in a licensed and regulated childcare space. That is first and foremost. How the money will start to actually move, that's to be decided yet. If we look to Saskatchewan, who did something similar, but they did retroactively to July 1st of last year, the money moved to the childcare programs, and then the childcare programs rebated parents directly. In some cases, parents received checks for the difference, but in most cases it was a credit that was applied to their account. But either way, it's going to bring fee relief to parents in the immediate.
And we do know there are further reductions scheduled for December. So what could these rebates look like by the end of the year?
Yeah, so of course, they're going to be reducing fees immediately. They also want to put a cap on fees for everybody in the licensed and regulated sector as well. So it's not like they're going to decrease on one side and increase on the other side, right? So they're going to try to bring some sanity, if you will, to the fees that are being charged in Ontario. And the next reduction by the end of December, like you mentioned, will be another 25% on that lower amount that's going to be in place starting very soon now in April.
So what does this mean for the child care centers themselves who are likely to face a
Yeah.
higher demand following this?
It's going to put a lot of pressure on them. Certainly, that was the other arm of the important arm of the announcement yesterday between the Prime Minister and the Premier. That Ontario has a plan over the next several years to create 86,000 new spaces, and we know that as everybody starts going back to work or has been going back to work, demand for childcare services is certainly increasing along with that, and with reduced fees, we know that if you build it, they will come. And there will be a large demand on childcare programs to expand their services. But taken with that, we have to also keep an eye on the early learning and childcare workforce, right? You can't open a space without a qualified staff to work in it. And so that is a piece that has to also be balanced out and planned for and strategized for in terms of the expansion of services, both going forward as well as supporting the existing workforce in Ontario's childcare sector.
Definitely. Now, this program, the goal of this program is to have $10 a day childcare by the end of 2025. So what would this likely look like province-wide and countrywide?
Yeah. On average, and that is the key, the federal government has a policy goal and a funding goal of making sure that parents of preschool age children, at least at the start, are paying no more than that average of $10 a day. So that's going to mean a really fundamental shift in how childcare services are funded and delivered in this country. Right now, we have what we call a market demand, where childcare fees tend to be charged to the market to support their operations. What we're now going to have to see is a shift to supply side. So in other words, funding the operations so the savings can be passed on to parents. It can't just be through subsidy systems, which are the tried and established ways of helping support affordability. But we also know subsidy systems are one of the reasons why we got ourselves into this mess with regards to high childcare fees in this country. So it really is a complete reworking of childcare sectors across Canada.
Lots to keep our eyes on as this program unfolds. Sir, thank you again for joining us today on Forum Daily.
My pleasure. Thanks so much.
All right, up next, we take a look at today's international headlines on Forum Daily, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.